Good morning, my dear students. Today, I will read to you a self-made picture book entitled Hansel and Gretel, a retelling by M.J. Rodillas. Near a great forest, there lived a poor woodcutter and his wife and his two children. The boy's name was Hansel and the girl's Gretel. They had a very little to bite or to suck, and once, when there was a great dearth in the land, the man could not even gain the daily bread. The father said, "What will become of us? We cannot feed our children. There is nothing left for ourselves." "I will tell you what, husband," answered the wife. "We will take our children into the forest. We will make them a fire, and we will give each of them a piece of bread. Then we'll go through our work and leave them alone, and they will never find a way home again." "I cannot do that. The wild animals would soon come and devour them," the husband replied. "You fool!" said she. "Then we all starve to death." She left him with no peace until he consented. The two children had not been able to sleep because of hunger, and had heard their stepmother said to their father, "It is all over with us. Do be quiet, Gretel," said Hansel, "and do not fret. I will manage something." When the day was breaking, they went to the forest, and this is how the forest looked like. When the day was breaking, the wife came and awakened the two children. "Get up, you lazy bones! We are going into the forest to cut wood." Then she gave them a piece of bread. "That is for dinner, and you must not eat before then, for you will get no more." When they reached the middle of the forest, the father told the two children to collect wood, and it was set on fire. "Now lie down by the fire and rest yourselves, and we will go to cut wood. And when we are ready, we will come and fetch you." Yet another wave of hunger struck the family. And one night, the two children heard their mother ranting, "Everything is finished. We only have a loaf. The children must be off. We will take them further into the forest this time." Morning came, and the wife pulled the children out of bed. She gave them each of a little piece of bread, and on the way to the forest, Hansel crumbled the bread in his pocket and often stopped to throw a crumb on the ground. The woman led the children far into the wood, where they had never been before. "Sit still there, you children, and when you are tired, you can go to sleep, and we are going into the forest to cut wood. When we are ready to go home, we'll come and fetch you." The sun turned orange. Gretel shared her bread with Hansel, and they went to sleep. And the evening passed, and no one came for the poor children. It was now the third morning since they had left their father's house. They saw a pretty snow-white bird sitting in a bough and singing so sweetly. And when the song ended, the bird spread its wings and flew before them, and they followed it until they came to a little house. The house was materialized in front of their innocent eyes, and realized that it was built of bread, roofing of cakes, and windows of shining sugar. "We'll have a taste of this," said Hansel, with eyes gleaming in extreme excitement, and broke off a little bit of roof, and Gretel stood by the window and nodded. This is how the house looked like, materialized of red roofings and cakes and windows of shining sugar.
Yee-hee-hee-hee! Nibble, nibble like a mouse, who was nibbling at my house?
And the children answered, "Never mind, it is the wind." And they went eating. Then the door opened, and an aged woman came out, leaning upon a crutch. Hansel and Gretel felt frightened.
Ha ha! My dear children, how come you've here? You must come indoors and stay with me. You will not be in trouble.
She took them each by the hand and led them into her little house. This is how the woman looked like. The elder woman's table was all they ever dreamed of, and that became of what lay atop: milk and cakes and pancakes with sugars and apples and varieties of nuts. She showed them 2 little white beds, and Hansel and Gretel thought their dreams became reality. The old woman, although her behavior was so kind, was a wicked witch, and had built the house on purpose to bait the little children. When they were once inside, she used to kill them, cook them, and eat them. The witch's eyes were red, and she could not see very far, but she had a keen scent like a beast's, and knew very well when human creatures were near.
Get out, you lazy bones! Fetch water, and when he's fat, I will eat him.
Gretel began to whip, but she had to do what the wicked witch bade her. If we had been devoured by the wild beasts in the wood, at least we could have died together, Gretel cried. In the break of dawn, Gretel made the fire and filled the kettle.
First, we will do the baking, said the old woman. I have heated the oven already and kneaded the dough.
She pushed poor Gretel towards the oven.
Come in,
said the witch,
and see if it's properly hot, so that the bread may be baked.
But Gretel perceived her intention and said, "I don't know how to do it. How shall we get in?"
Stupid goose,
said the old woman, and she stooped down and put her head in the oven's mouth. Then Gretel gave her a push, so that she went in further, and she shut the iron door upon her and put up the bar, and Gretel went straight to Hansel and opened the stable door and cried, "Hansel, we are free! The old witch is dead!" Then out flew Hansel like a bird from its cage, and as soon as the door is opened, the 2 lucky children rejoice and hug and they dance, and as they had nothing more to fear, they went over all to the old witch's house. "Now away we go," said Hansel. "If we only can get out the witch's wood." With hackneyed eyes, dew of crying, they journeyed until they came upon a small rivulet. "We can never get across of this," said Hansel. "I see no stepping stones and no bridge, and there is no boat either," said Gretel. "But here comes a white duck. But if I ask her, will she help us over?" And that is how it was managed. And after that, they went on happily until they came into the wood, and the way grew more and more familiar. till at last they saw in the distance their father's house. And all along, all is well to the very end. So, that is how the Hansel and Gretel story goes. I hope you have learned something and have a great day, everyone. Thank you very much.